know, so far we have been meditating on the Panchen Losang Chökyi Gyaltsen's commentary on Mahamudra. So at the beginning, he explains Tantric Mahamudra, and he explained different traditions, mostly Kagyu traditions. And then he explains how to develop calm abiding on the conventional nature of the mind, which we have been meditating on. And then after that, he explains how, on that base, how to meditate on the ultimate nature of all phenomena, starting with the emptiness of the person. He says that the emptiness of the person is easier to realize. So first one explain on the basis of outer phenomena, the emptiness, but then when in terms of realization, direct experience, it's easier to meditate on the emptiness of the person to get experience. And then we have seen that the way the I appear, there's three ways that the I can appear. So today I would like to elaborate a little bit more that, so that we experientially can able to differentiate in oneself these three senses of I. So this is actually very important, because many people meditate on emptiness, but if you're not knowing which I is empty, then you might meditate on the emptiness of the conventional I and never make any progress in your, in reducing your self-grasping. So this, so today we are going to attempt to elaborate that. So there's the conventional I, the I. So let's say this. So an ordinary person has two senses of I. He has the conventional I that is neither inherently existent nor merely labeled. So that sense of I is when you say, I'm sitting here, I'm going to go shopping, I'm going to go cooking, yesterday I did this, tomorrow I'm going to do that. So it's a conventional, valid association of what you're doing. In the conventional world, that I'm doing this, I'm doing that, etc. Okay, I'm feeling like this, like that. So that sense of I doesn't how to grasp at itself as inherently existent, nor does he realize that the I is merely labeled. It's just a conventional assessment of the situation of what we're doing. So from now on, I will call that one, in order not to tell it each time, the one that is not inherently existent and the one that is not merely labeled, I will just say the vague I. So it's a vague sense of I. So I think in everyday life, if you check, mostly that's the most common one you experience. So, you meditate on calm abiding, and then, so I'm meditating on calm abiding, so that's a conventional assessment of what you're doing. Or I'm having thought in my mind, or I'm being distracted. So all this is this vague sense of I. So if you meditate on the emptiness of this vague sense of I, this is not meditation on emptiness. So you see, you have this vague sense of I, and you say, where is this sense of I? and you don't find it in the body, you don't find it in the mind, you don't find it in outside, and you stay in that space like absorption on the emptiness of this vague sense of I. So this is not meditation on emptiness. And I think many of us might do this mistake from time to time. So this meditating on this emptiness of this vague sense of I doesn't undermine in any way your inherent self-grasping. So in the teaching, it says first you have to find the target. You have to see the object that is actually you're going to meditate on its emptiness. And so you have to identify the inherent existent I, right? So let's say you see, what shall we eat? Well, let's have some ice cream, right? So this is the vague I. Oh, let's have some ice cream. Okay, this is the vague I. But when it comes, I want ice cream, I need ice cream. You see, so within that space, it's almost like the water is flat and then a wave comes up within your mind, you know? And then this is the self-grasping I, the inherent I. Or, you know, you casually speak to people and your friend goes away and you say, love you, you know? So that's the vague I, okay? But then when suddenly you say, I love you, you know, so then suddenly the I, you see, becomes inherent, becomes, there's some kind of grasping. It appears to exist from his own side, right? So that's the sense of I, you know, I'm annoyed about this and that, you know. So when there's mental affliction, usually it's easier to identify, but we have it all the time. As soon as we have a little bit of strong opinion about something, you know, so he comes up, right? Now the challenge, what happens to us, is that he can come up, stay a few seconds and disappear again. You see? So, and you cannot really meditate on its emptiness because he doesn't stay long enough. Right? So he comes for a few seconds and then he disappears again, and then you have this vague sense of I again. And then a few minutes later, he comes up again in your mind. You know, you watch it, and then again he disappears, and you again this vague sense of I. Right? So you see, he comes up, so you identify it, but then it disappears, and then you meditate on the vague sense of I's emptiness, not on the inherent existent I's emptiness. And that makes that you never weaken how to say, you're grasping on the inherent I. You never meditate on its emptiness. You meditate on the emptiness of the vague sense of I. And therefore, whenever the inherent I comes, the grasping of I come, you still believe at it as strongly as before. You see, it's only when this strong sense of inherent I is there and you really meditate and don't find it, then it weakens. You see, then even though he comes up, instead of believing 100% in it, you believe it only 90%, then 80%, then 70%. So even though he's there, you believe less and less in his stories. So in meditation, it's very important to be able to distinguish these two experiences of yourselves, the vague sense of I, and then the inherent existent I. And then when you're able to produce or recognize the inherent existent I, you must be able to sustain its presence. You see, if it goes in and out of experience, you cannot meditate on its emptiness. You must be able to have it there in a sustained manner so that you can really inquire into its nature. And also another mistake one makes is that you have it there, you maintain it, and then too quickly you go into its emptiness. So you have to have to be able to have the sense of I there, inert existent I there, and meditate on its emptiness while he's there. You have to realize it's empty while he's present, not while he's gone. You see? So while he's there, you have to realize that he doesn't exist. So you have to keep it in your mind with one part, and with the other one, you inquire, where is he? And while he's there, you realize he doesn't exist. And that's the real thing. So that exercise is quite difficult to do because we don't have a stable mind. So we have all these other thoughts arising, and we are not able to keep this inherent I present for very long. So now I'm using an example as a kid, as a teenager. I used to sail, on a sailing boat in the Geneva Lake. So when there's no wind, it's no fun at all. You're not moving anywhere, kind of like that. And then if there's too much wind, also it's not fun. You come into a survival mode, you just want to stay afloat, right? So the fun part is when there's not too much wind and not too little. And then you can, enjoy sailing. So similar way, when you meditate on the emptiness of the I, if the inherent I is not present, nothing happens. You cannot meditate on its emptiness. And if there's too much emotion, if your mind is wild, you're completely upset about something, again, you cannot meditate on the emptiness of the I. The mind is too wild. Right? So you must be able to generate the sense of I in a way that is neither too strong nor too little. Right? So that's why it's very difficult to, they say, oh, you have to get, when you're upset or when you have strong grasping or some strong desire, you recognize the inherent existent I. Yes, you might be able to recognize it, but you're not able to meditate on its emptiness because the mind is too wild. Right? So it's easier in meditation when you remember a situation where you were upset or some desire or some worry you have. So you bring it at a level where you can manage it, you see? So you're not overtaken by the negative emotion, you're not overtaken by the emotion, right? You remember it. And then you're able to sustain its presence, right? So, and while holding it there, then you meditate on its emptiness. And now, so a normal person only has these two types of experience of himself, either the vague I or the inherent strong self-grasping I. Now, because we have been introduced to the Madhyamika Prasangika view, so we have a third sense of I, a third experience of I. So that third sense of I is a sense of I that is merely designated by the mind on the base of the continuum of your body and mind. So you have the body, so you have this experience of your body. Let's take an outer example first. If you see a stream of water or a river, so there's a river there, but actually that river, if you don't have the river the bed, so that river depends on the bed in which the water flows and on the water. But without the bed, the water would go all over the place. And without the water, the riverbed would just be rocks. So the fact that there's a river flowing there depends on both. And the river, the droplet of water are constantly changing, even though we always see the same river, is never the same water. And the stones in the river, they move also along, they're pushed by the water, and they become round due to the movement of the water onto the rocks, so they become round. So even though we saw a river there, it's never the same river. So we label a river on this droplet of water that are never the same, and on the riverbed that is never the same. But we have, so the mind imputes on that base. So even though there's no river there from its own side, the mind labels river. So it has this kind of dependenterizing, right? The mind imputes rivers on that conventional phenomena, even though there's no river there from its own side. So likewise, on the base of our body, that has all these myriad parts that constantly change. And on this stream of consciousness, of awareness, with these thoughts, emotion, 51 mental factors that constantly change, on that ever-changing phenomena, we merely label I. So even though there's no inner I in there anywhere, so I is merely imputed on the base, on this ever changing stream of body-mind. So this experience we can make, right? So on the base of this ever-changing stream of body-mind, we merely label I. So at our level, when we make that experience, it's not a direct experience yet. We do this meditation and we get some kind of mental image, some kind of idea of an I that is merely imputed on this ever-moving stream of body-mind. And by persevering in that meditation, then gradually the veil or the idea or the image of the merely labeled I turns into the real experience. So like the A that was merely imputed on the tree line, like the book that is merely imputed on the front, back cover and the pages, like the body that's merely imputed on the collection of parts of the body, like the mind that is merely imputed on the momentary stream of awareness, the I can be merely imputed on the collection of body and mind. So at our level, we have to be aware that when we say we experience this merely labeled I or this merely labeled book, we're still at the level of a conceptual experience. It's not yet the actual experience, right? The actual experience will come when you reach the path of seeing, right? So there's still a veil, a concept, an idea of the thing that prevents the direct experience. So that's why sometimes it feels a bit fake, right? That fakeness comes from this image that you have that prevents the direct experience. So today, after we do calm abiding on the conventional nature of the mind, the clear knowing, then we're going to try to identify these three senses of I in our meditation, right? So you have to become very familiarized with these three ways that you can experience yourself. And there's only one that is the source of our confusion, that is the source of our samsara, is the inherent existent I. And that you must learn to bring it forth and to be able to generate it in a way that you can hold it there for 5-10 minutes. So it's a skill. You see, it's not easy to bring forward the inherent existent I and be able to hold it there with one part of your mind by feeding it. See, and you will see this sense of I is all your hope and fear are connected to that sense of I. You see, your conventional I the vague sense of I doesn't have any string attached to it. The merely labeled I doesn't have any string attached to it. But the inherent existent I has all these hopes and fears and longing and attached to it, right? So that's, you have to realize, you have to see that all the hopes and fear are attached to inherent existent I, not to the merely labeled one, and nor to this vague sense of I. So there you see that the inherent I, that's the creator of samsara. That's where the self-grasping comes, where the mental affliction are attached to it, and where the karma is created, and where the suffering endures. So when you see that, you realize, oh, that's the...
Can you help me find my phone?
That's the target.
Can you help me find my phone?
What? So that's the target. So it's very important to spend, so in the teaching they say, you know, you can spend years just trying to identify this target clearly in your mind. That's the most difficult part in meditation on emptiness, is to really identify the inherent existent I and be able to hold it there, to realize that it's a complete hallucination, a complete... And then by doing that, then the level of your grasping at self greatly decreases, right? So then the meditation on emptiness becomes very effective, and your level of self-grasping really decreases. So from my experience is that one goes too quickly into the emptiness and one doesn't spend enough time holding the self-grasping ignorance there and really realizing it, you know. And then when you meditate on its emptiness, you go into the space in the absence of that thing, but you forgot what you meditate, what is the object that is empty, right? So you have to hold the inner self there, and while it's there, look, where are you? Body, mind, outside. You know, while he's there, you realize that it's a hallucination. So see, if you're able to see while he's there, you know, that you sense your hope and fear, your cravings, the I that has that is a dream, is a hallucination, it doesn't exist while he's there, right? So if you put that imprint in your mind, then even when you don't meditate and the inherent existence comes up, the imprint of having seen him as a dream, as a hallucination, as a mirage, that imprint stays. So you buy much less into his story, right? So, and then gradually that really decreases your self-grasping. That's how you find more and more peace. Okay, so we do Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga. So in the space in front of oneself, we imagine enlightenment, either in the form of Dharmakaya, space of bliss, void, love, so forth. Or within that, we visualize the Sambhogakaya form of all our Buddhas, deities, so forth. Or we can focus on the Nirmanakaya form, like His Holiness Dalai Lama, Lama Yeshe, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Khandro, and all the people which we think are enlightened. So the main point is to try to feel an enlightened presence in the room with you. And from your side, you have this aspiration, wanting to become like them. And you try to do that with a vast mind, yourself surrounded by all living beings, and you guide them also in taking refuge. Oh, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. By my virtuous actions of giving and so on, may I become a Buddha to benefit all beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. By my virtuous actions of giving and so on, may I become a Buddha to benefit all beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. By my virtuous actions of giving and so on, may I become a Buddha to benefit all beings. Then from the Buddha, waves of light comes and enters into your body and grants you refuge, protection. So when one generates bodhicitta, there's a number of ways of doing that. So today I would like to show you a meditation that I found very helpful for my mind. So first one starts with the equality of oneself and others. That oneself and all living beings are the same. We all wish to be happy. So you open your heart to all living beings. And the second point is to see that because of being self-centered, I'm still an ordinary person. And because Bodhisattvas and Buddha became centered onto others, they became these enlightened beings, these wonderful beings. So if I continue to be self-centered, I will continue to be an ordinary person. And if I want to become a happy Buddha, there's no other way but to care for all living beings. Now imagine yourself being a queen or a president or a prime minister. And then, so imagine being this benevolent ruler, and that all you minister are like-minded. So everybody wants to bring happiness to all the citizens of that country, and that you have full power and you can hire all the qualified people, and that you feel like you can solve, the healthcare system, you can solve poverty, can solve global warming. So think you have all power and you have this right benevolent attitude, and you can hire all the right people, and you can effectively bring about what you want. See how your mind becomes vast. Now you have that state of mind not only for all the humans, but you try to imagine having the same benevolent attitude to all beings of the six realms. That you want to remove the suffering of each and every living beings and bring them to the highest happiness of enlightenment. May all beings have equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings find good rebirth and the bliss of liberation. May the ground everywhere be pure, free of roughness and awful, soft as the palm of a child's hand, smooth as polished blue saffron. May all space with Samanta clouds of offering we feel, offerings human and divine, both actual and imagined. Oh Namo Bhagavate Vajradhanam Ane Samyak Samudaya Tayada Om Vaja Vaja Pesa Vajama Vidya Vajama Bodhicitta Vajama Bodhimanda Vatagama Vaja Savagama Avarana Vidya O Namo Bhagavate Vajradhanam Ane Samyak Samudaya Tayada Om Vaja Vajama Vajama Mahavidya Vajama Bodhicitta Mahabodhimanda Vasangama Vaja Savakama Avarana Vijadana Vaja Yisto O Namo Bhagavate Vajradhanam Ane Samyak Samudaya Tayana Om Vaja Vaja Mahavidya Vajama Bodhicitta Mahabodhimanda Vasangama Vaja Savakama Avarana Vijadana Vaja Yisto You who emanate on snow white cloud from the heart of Buddha Maitreya, Savior of 100 Devas joyful, Lusandra all-knowing King of Dharma, with you to our disciples, I beseech you, please come before me. In space on lion throne, Lord, to send my kind Guru smiling with delight. Is the supreme field for my faithful. Please forever abide and teach us. Your holy mind knows all phenomena. Your fluent speech a sweet melody. For the years of fortunate being, your form resplendent with fame's glory. I prostrate to you is meaningful to see, hear, and also bring to me. Pure water and well-arranged flower, fragrant incense like perfume and wine. As of offering real and imagined, I offer you supreme merit filled. Non-virtues of body, speech, and mind, transgressions of my precepts all for me the sins beginning last time, all I confess deeply from my heart. In these times of degeneration, you made your life highly meaningful. Renounce all the 8 worldly concepts, strive for knowledge and realizations. In your extensive accomplishment, I rejoice deeply within my heart. Dharma in Dharmakaya, as clear sky from clouds of wisdom and compassion. Please rain down vast and profound Dharma upon us fortunate disciples. I dedicate all of these virtues to the Dharma of living beings, and especially that the heart teaching of Lord Sandrapa remain forever. Is ground adorned with perfume and flowers, Mount Meru for world's sun and moon. Imagined and offered as a pure lamb, may all be enjoy this boon. I send for visual mandala to you, my precious. Nimetsewe te chen chenri. Nime kyempe wampo jampe. Nyumbu malu jomze sawe. Ganchen kempe tsugen songkang. Lozandaba shabla Chen is the great treasure of objectless compassion. Anjushi, Lord of stainless wing, Vajapani, destroyer of Marazan, Tsongkhapa found, jewel of Tibetan saint, those on Brahman to you. Then you imagine the three thrones absorbing upward into the lotus. And then Kyelsabjin Kredjubje merges into Lama Tsongkhapa. Then Lama Tsongkhapa comes to sit on top of your head. facing the same direction as you. So imagine Lama Tsongkhapa inseparable from your root guru. So as blissful light, loving energy. And his central channel is completely aligned with your central channel. And at his head chakra, this white Om, brilliant white light, within a sphere of white light. And at his throat is a red A, in a sphere of blissful red light. And at his heart is a blue Hum, within a sphere of blissful blue light. And as we recite the three mantra, one by one and all together, you imagine that you receive the blessing of Lama Tsongkhapa and your root guru, the blessing of his holy body, speech, and mind. So we take a deep breath. Om. 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 Then you imagine that your root guru, inseparable from Lama Tsongkhapa, shrink in size and become a sphere of a blissful radiant light on top of your head. And then you imagine that your root guru enters by the top of your head, and with each millimeter that he comes down, he produces bliss. You have this loving, blissful energy entering into you and going down the center of your body very slowly, and then come to rest at the center of your chest, in your heart chakra. So that sphere of light is actually Lama Tsongkhapa, is actually His Holiness Dalai Lama, is actually Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Lama Yeshe. So if you make it more personal, it gives a greater experience. So at this stage, there's a duality, subject-object. There's you that watches you go in your heart. So now you have to merge. So either you make your guru blissful light energy bigger till the size of your body and you merge with it, or you imagine mentally that you plunge into your heart chakra and become one. So whichever way, you try to merge with your mind, with the mind of your guru, with the mind of Lama Tsongkhapa. And then that becomes the object of your calm abiding, is clear awareness. You try to sustain it and not to lose it. So we do that for 10 minutes. An image that Milarepa gives is like a small bird flying through the sky that leaves no trace behind. So likewise, in the space of our awareness, subliminal thought or mental event arise, but you just let them be. You don't create a stream of thoughts. They just arise and pass, and you don't hold on to them. And we try to see that you hold that space of your awareness, neither too tight nor too loose. So you have from time to tighten up your awareness. And sometimes you have to loosen up a little bit your awareness to find the right middle way, like tuning a string instrument. So when you find the right pitch, makes a beautiful sound. It's almost like you enter into the zone. Now, while you continue to sit in meditation, try to experience your vague sense of I, or by saying, oh, I'm sitting here, I'm meditating. Before I do this and that, after I will do this. So try to how it feels when you are this vague sense of I. So this sense of I is valid, is correct, because it's related to this conventional world. And in this conventional world, you do this and that. So when that I is present, there's no strong self-grasping. You're merely telling facts about yourself. So within that space, now you create your sense of self-grasping. About something you desire or some problem you have. So you bring up that mind that worries, or that mind that wants to fix something or longs for something. So there, the trick is with one part of the mind, you generate that sense of I, and you have to continually feed it with thoughts and emotion so that it stays present in your mind. So you don't make it too strong so that it overwhelms you, and not too little so that you're not able to recognize its nature and analyze it. So usually that sense of I has an emotional component. It can be love, compassion, aversion, being irritated, pride, jealousy, whatever. It can be a positive emotion or a negative emotion. But it seems to be there within your mind or body somewhere. So, like it says, existing from its own side. It's almost like you can point the finger somewhere in your head or chest, and there's some kind of energy there that you feel is you. So now if you say, I am meditating, it's not just stating a fact that your body and mind is meditating. Now there's a concrete I within your body and mind that is meditating, and that concrete I becomes the possessor of the body and the possessor of the mind. And that sense of I has strong opinion about things. He has hopes and fears. So all your persona, all your mental affliction are attached to this I. So if you think out loud in your head, your ordinary sense of self, your opinion about people, about situation, then you easily recognize this inherent I somewhere within your body mind. And that moment is not just the mind that thinks, it's an inherent I that thinks and has opinions, and sometimes very strong opinions. It was almost like there's some white fog within you where the sense of I is. And he thinks it's not just the mind that thinks. It's not just the mind that has thoughts. No, I am thinking this. So this you have really to be able to experience. So the previous sense of I was merely stating facts about event of your body, mind. This one is not just saying facts. It's almost like a living being living within your body and mind that has some kind of independence. It's not just the body and mind, it's something more. And then if you look for this sense of I, So he appears to be one. We only have one sense of I. We are not two or three or four. We are one. But if this one existed, it has to be one with the body, mind, or separate. But then is he one with the body or is he one with the mind? If he would be one with both, we would have two eyes. So if he's inherently one with the body, well, that one has many parts. So which part? And that goes on ad infinitum. Same thing with the mind. The mind is a stream of moment of awareness. So which moment of awareness is me? So while you do this inquiry, you have to keep your inherent eye fog there, and you try to see where he could be. And this inherent fog needs at least one, either the body, mind, one of the five aggregate. Without any awareness, there is no I left. So we cannot exist independent from the five aggregator of the body, mind. So while holding your sense of inherent I present, so if you inquire like that where he could be, in body, mind, or outside, and the more you look, the less there can be any base for him to be, he becomes more and more like floating into empty space. So your sense of I has no ground, no foundation. So you start, while looking at it, you start seeing it as a mirage. As a hallucination, and then while looking at it and not having any foundation, it turns into this space of emptiness. which is this total absence of this inherent I. So what happens to many of us is that at the beginning, you focus on this non-finding of the inherent I, which is a negative, a non-finding. So in order for that to stay emptiness, you have to remember what you were looking for and not. So what you are looking for is this inherent I within body mind, and you haven't found it. So the emptiness is the non-finding, the continuity of non-finding of the inherent I. But after a while, it turns into a positive. It turns into the space-like nature of awareness. So that's not anymore emptiness. This is meditation on the conventional nature of your awareness, the clear and knowing nature of the mind. So no matter how much time you spend on that, it doesn't undermine you grasping on the inherent I. So you have to start from the beginning again. You have to create the inherent I and hold it there. Then while holding it there, you have to look where it could exist. And then not finding anywhere. While he's there, you realize he's non-existence. And gradually go into that emptiness of this inherent I. And while there's no I to be found anywhere, I is a valid imputation of the continuity of this stream of awareness. So I is merely imputed. So your stream of awareness is changing from moment to moment, never the same. So you're never the same. From second to second, you're a different person. Every second there's a new body. Every second there's a new mind. And on that stream of body and mind, you may label I. On this ever-changing river, on this ever-changing droplet of water, you label river. On this ever-changing body and mind, you label I. and that I exist. It's not just a name, a word, a concept. Something very subtle sense of I that gradually reveals itself to you. Right. By the merit of this virtue, may I become a Buddha and lead all living beings into that enlightened state. May the precious Bodhicitta not yet born arise and grow, and may that born not decline but increase more and more. In the snowy mountain paradise, you're the source of all happiness and good. Powerful Tenzin Gyatso Chenrezig, please remain until samsara ends. Savior of the snowlands, teaching and beings, you clarify the path that unifies emptiness and compassion. Lotus holder Tenzin Gyatso, may all your wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Peerless teacher and assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddha, victorious Losang father and son, along with the lineage master, all the object of refuge of infinite lands. Please bestow the virtues and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now, holding and spreading Muni's precious and complete teaching. Through explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged, incomparable, venerable Guru. To you I make request, while striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teaching, the sole great way through which all benefit and happiness emerge. And for other living beings, you suddenly depart to peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, to the undeceiving truth of the blessing of the ocean of the three jewels and the great wave of Bodhicitta of the children of the victorious one, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly be in glory for fortunate disciples. I would like that we do a few prayers for, I think most of you know Fabian, which has been director at Vajrapāṇi Institute and now is director in Jamyang in England. Now she goes by the name Venerable Dharma. So she lost her mom yesterday in an accident. So I thought we could, for those which have time, we could do a little Medicine Buddha prayer for her mom that has passed away and for her father. So for those which have the Medicine Buddha Puja, it's interesting, maybe I might say what happened. So it's a bit sad, this accident. You see how we can suddenly, we feel our life is so stable and, and then suddenly something strange happened. So her dad was backing out the car and he ran over her mom, So it's kind of one of these crazy things that you think, can never happen, and these things happen, So, yeah, so it's very sad. So for those which have the Medicine Buddha Puja, if you have the text around, we're going to recite the name of the Medicine Buddha 3 times, and then we recite the mantra. So I have this text, you know, the Medicine Buddha Puja. So if you have that around. Otherwise, you just, you know, meditate and send good, good thought to. So Fabien's mother was called Antigone Pradel, and her father was Charles Pradel. So nature incorporating the entire body, speech, mind, qualities and activities of all the Tathagatas of the 3 times and 10 directions, source of the 84,000 collections of Dharma, Lord of all the Arya Sangha, I seek refuge in a kind and glorious holy root and lineage guru. I seek refuge in the complete enlightenment Lord Buddhas. I seek refuge in the holy Dharma. I seek refuge in the Arya Sangha. I seek refuge in the 8 brothers gone to bliss, the Lord Medicine Buddha with their host of retinue deities. I seek refuge in the glorious holy protector, Dharma protector, guardians, and thou with the wisdom eye. Nature encompassing the entire body, speech, mind, qualities and activities of all the Tathagatas of the 3 times and 10 directions, source of the 84,000 collections of Dharma, Lord of all the Arya Sangha. I seek refuge in the kind and glorious holy root and lineage guru. I seek refuge in the completely enlightened Lord Buddhas. I seek refuge in the holy Dharma. I seek refuge in the Arya Sangha. I seek refuge in the 8 brothers gone to bliss, the Lord Medicine Buddha with a host of retinue deities. I seek refuge in the glorious holy protector, Dharma protector, endowed with the wisdom eye. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. By my word from giving in the other perfection, may I become a Buddha to benefit all living beings. All sentient beings, who although self and all appearance are Dharma Dhatu by nature, have not realized it thus. I shall endow with happiness and the cause of happiness. I shall separate from suffering and the cause of suffering. I shall make inseparable from the happiness without suffering. And I shall set in equanimity the cause of well-being, free from attachment, aversion, and partiality. For the welfare of all mother sentient beings, I need to attain complete Buddhahood. Therefore, I'm going to engage in the stage of the path, such as prostrating, making offering, and heartfelt request to the 8 brothers gone to bliss, the Lord Medicine Buddhas, and the host of retinue deities. Compassionate protector in degenerate time, 7 Sugatas, Buddha Shakyamuni, Holy Dharma, Bodhisattva, and Gadya, invited as a support and protector refuge to protect others and myself. May you come here, gather, and grant your blessing. Root Guru, whose kindness is without equal, King of the Shakya, Manjushri, Shantarakshita, and Sultan. Holding in the hand this profound sutra, to the direct and lineage gurus I prostrate. To the 7 compassionate ones who will liberate destitute being, 7 Sugata, Buddha Shakyamuni, and Holy Dharma, Manjushri, Capital, Vajrapani, Brahma, and Ishvara, and the Maharaja and Yaksha I prostrate. I make every collection of offering actually arranged and emanated to the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativity, rejoice in virtue, request and beseech, and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Great Bhagavan Assembly, pray, listen. 7 Sugata, just as you promised your previous prayer to be fulfilled during this final period of Shakyamuni's teaching. Pray, show me in actuality that it is true. To the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat, full enlightened Buddha, renowned glorious King of excellent sign, I prostrate, offer and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat, full enlightened Buddha, renowned glorious King of excellent sign, I prostrate, offer and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat, full enlightened Buddha, renowned glorious King of excellent sign, I prostrate, offer and go for refuge. Please may the pledges you made ripen upon myself and all sentient beings right. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. golden in color with the mudra of granting refuge, who accomplishes 8 prayer, majestic in the glory of the 2 accumulation, glorious one of the Buddha field, unconquered by other, to renowned glorious king of excellent signs are prostrate, in flowers of the major mark, flourishing and pure, enterers of signs such as beautiful body. One who see, hear, or think of you is glorified. To renowned glorious king of excellent signs, I prostrate. I make every collection of offering actually arranged and emanated to the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativity, rejoice in virtue, request and beseech, and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Through the force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering. May all sentient beings, just as ourselves, be free from epidemic, execution, criminals, and spirit, have faculty fully complete, have the continuum of suffering and negativity cut, not fall to low rim, and experience the happiness of human and God. With hunger, thirst, and poverty pacified, may there be wealth without torment of body, such as binding and beating, without harm of tiger, lions, and snakes, with conflict pacified, and endowed with a loving mind, and relieved from fears of flood as well. May we pass to fearless bliss. And when we pass away from this life, may we born from a lotus in a Buddhi field, quality complete, become a vessel for transmitting the teaching of conquerors, such as renowned glorious king of excellent sign, and cause them delight. So we imagine that the medicine Buddha takes Antigone Pradel by the hand and leads her to his pure land. The Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat Fulniyat Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant rhythms of skill, adorned with jewel, moon, and lotus, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat Fulniyat Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant rhythms of skill, adorned with jewel, moon, and lotus, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat Fulniyat Buddha, King of melodious sound, brilliant rhythms of skill, adorned with jewel, moon, and lotus, I prostrate, offer, and go for refuge. Please may the pledges you made ripen upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Yellow and color with mudra of granting the Supreme, who accomplishes 8 prayer, majesty in the glory of the 2 accumulation, glorious one of Buddha film endowed with jewel, I prostrate to King of melodious sound. Well adorned with jewel, moon, and lotus, wisdom expanding mastery of all knowledge object, and thou with a mind as deep as the ocean, I prostrate to the feet of King of melodious sound. I make every collections of offering actually arranged and emanated through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativity, rejoice in virtue, request and beseech, and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. To the force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering. For all sentient beings such as ourselves, may the distracted flourish in the Dharma, have wealth and goods of human and God, without torment at conception, be always born human. Never be separated from bodhicitta, increase in virtuous Dharma, purify obscuration, and attain the happiness of humans and gods. May we be free from being separate from spiritual guides, from dark age, spirit harm, death, enemies, and from the danger of isolated place. May we have enthusiasm for making offering and performing a ritual service. May lesser beings have samadhi, mindfulness, strength, and the dharani of non-forgetfulness, and attain supreme wisdom. May tormenting fire be cooled. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from a lotus in that Buddha field quality complete, become a vessel for transmitting the teaching of conquerors such as King of melodious sound, and cause them delight. So imagine that this Buddha also takes Antigone by the hand and lead her to his pure land. where she can complete the path to enlightenment. And the next Buddha, to the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent God, great jewel who accomplishes all vow, I prostrate, offering of refuge. To the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent God, great jewel who accomplishes all vows, I prostrate, offering of refuge. To the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat, fully enlightened Buddha, stainless excellent God, great jewel who accomplishes all vows, I prostrate, offering of refuge. Please may the pledges you made ripen upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Golden in color, like the river Zampu, with Dharma teaching mudra, having accomplished for prayer, majestic in the glory of the two accumulation, glorious one of the Buddha field, the incense field, I prostrate to stainless excellent gold, paramount among gold, like the gold of the river Zambi, blazing with more radiance as 1,000 sun. Body like a stainless golden stupa, I prostrate to stainless excellent gold. I make every collections of offering actually arrange and emanate through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativity, rejoice in virtue, request, and beseech, and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Through the force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering. For all sentient beings as ourselves, may the short-lived gain longevity, the poor full wealth. May combatant come to have loving minds. May we not be without training and fall to the lower realms, but be bound by our vows and never without bodhicitta. And when we pass away from this life, may we born from our lotus in that Buddha field, quality complete, become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors such as stainless excellent God and cause them delight. So again, we imagine that this Buddha comes and takes the hand of Antigone Pradel and guide her to his pure land. Next to the next Buddha, to the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat, full enlightened Buddha, supreme glory, free from sorrow, I prostrate, offering of refuge. To the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat, full enlightened Buddha, supreme glory, free from sorrow, I prostrate, offering of refuge. To the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat, full enlightened Buddha, supreme glory, free from sorrow, I prostrate, offering of refuge. Please may the pledges you made ripen upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Light red in color with mudra of meditative equipoise, who accomplishes for prayer, majestic with the glory of the two accumulation, glorious one of the Buddha feeling without sorrow, I prostrate to supreme glory free from sorrow. Pass beyond sorrow, attain to supreme bliss, pacifier of sentient beings, street poison and suffering. Protector of beings of the sixth stream, to the glorified one, supreme glory free from sorrow, I prostrate. I make every collections of offering actually arranged and emanated through the force of some mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativity, rejoice in virtue, request, and beseech, and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Through the force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering. For all sentient beings as ourselves, may sorrow and the like always be pacified and life be long and happy. May the conqueror's light increase bliss and joy in the health. May we have brightness, beauty, and wealth and unharmed by spirit. May we have love for each other and may there be no disease. And when we pass away from this life, may we born from a lotus in that Buddha field, quality complete, become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors such as supreme glory from sorrow and cause them delight. So again, we imagine this Buddha taking Antigone Pradel by the hand and guiding her to his pure land. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, full enlightened Buddha, may the ocean of proclaimed Dharma, I prostrate, offer and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, full enlightened Buddha, may the ocean of proclaimed Dharma, I prostrate, offer and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, full enlightened Buddha, may the ocean of proclaimed Dharma, I prostrate, offer and go for refuge. Please may the pledges you made ripen upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Pink in color with the mudra of teaching the Dharma, who accomplishes four prayer, majestic in the glory of the two accumulation. Glorious one of the Buddha film, victory banner of Dharma. I prostrate to Medlius ocean of proclaimed Dharma. Great sound of Dharma conquering adversity, and thou with speech as deep as the ocean, pacifier of being suffering without exception. I prostrate to the melody ocean of proclaimed Dharma. I make every collection of offering actually arranged and emanated to the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfall and negativity, rejoice in virtue, request and beseech, and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. To the force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating and offering for all sentient beings such as ourselves. May we always have perfect view and faith, hear the sound of Dharma and be enriched with Bodhicitta. For the sake of resources, may we give up negativity, may wealth increase, may we abide in love, have long life and be content. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from a lotus in that Buddha field quality complete, become a vessel for transmitting the teaching of conquerors such as Melody Ocean of proclaimed Dharma and cause them delight. So again, we imagine that this Buddha takes the hand of Antigone Pradel and of all the other people which we have karmic connection with that have passed away. So imagine the meditating Buddha taking care of them as they promise to do in this degenerate time. Next Buddha, to the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, full enlightened Buddha, delightful King of clear knowing, supreme wisdom of an ocean of Dharma, I prostrate, offer and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, full enlightened Buddha, delightful King of clear knowing, supreme wisdom of an ocean of Dharma, I prostrate, offer and go for refuge. To the Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, full enlightened Buddha, delightful King of clear knowing, supreme wisdom of an ocean of Dharma, I prostrate, offer and go for refuge. Please may the pledges you made ripen upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Coral colored with the mudra of granting the Supreme, who accomplishes four prayer. Majesty in the glory of the two accumulation. Glorious one of the Buddha field, ocean of truth. I prostrate to King of clear knowing. Man of profound Dharma wisdom, difficult to fathom, sporting the pure sphere of truth. One who sees all knowable objects directly, I prostrate to King of clear knowing. I make every collection of offering actually arranged and emanated to the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativity, rejoice in virtue, request and beseech, and dedicate such virtues as these to great enlightenment. To the force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering. For all sentient beings such as ourselves, may the distracted be free of malice, rich in good. May those on evil paths to lower realms attain virtue. May those controlled by others gain perfect independence. And all have long life, hear the names and be virtuous. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from a lotus in that Buddha field quality complete, become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors such as King of clear knowing and cause them delight. So again, we imagine this Buddha taking the hand of Antigone and of our parents, our friends, all the people which we have a karmic connection with, and lead them to his pure land. Buddha, to the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat Full Enlightened Buddha, Medicine Guru, King of Lapis Light, I prostrate offering of refuge. To the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat Full Enlightened Buddha, Medicine Guru, King of Lapis Light, I prostrate offering of refuge. To the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat Full Enlightened Buddha, Medicine Guru, King of Lapis Light, I prostrate offering of refuge. Please may the pleasures you might ripen upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Blue in color with the mudra of granting the Supreme who accomplishes 12 prayer. Majestic with the glory of the two accumulation. Glorious one of the Buddha field, Lapis Light. I prostrate to the Medicine Guru, King of Doctrine. Bhagavan with equal compassion for all, whose name, when merely here, dispel the suffering of the Lorium, dispelling of disease of the tree poison. I prostrate to the Medicine Buddha, Lapis Light. I make every collections of offering actually arranged and emanated through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativity, rejoice in virtue, request and beseech and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. Through the force of hearing the conqueror's name, expressing it, remembering, prostrating, and offering. May each and every sentient being, such as ourselves, become like you, graced with marks and signs. May the light dispelling darkness, the enjoyment of wisdom and skillful being inexhaustible. May those attracted to mistake and lesser paths enter the Mayana path and all be beautified with their vows. May we be free from pain caused by immorality, be complete in faculty and without disease, and have abundant goods. May those disillusioned by the weakness condition always have powerful faculty, and may we be free from Mara's nose and perverse viewpoint. May those tormented by kings gain bliss, and those who have hunger support themselves to negativities, be satisfied with food received in accordance with the Dharma. May hardship of heat and cold be pacified, and all good wishes be fulfilled. Endowed with morality that pleases the Arya, may we be liberated. And when we pass away from this life, may we be born from a lotus in that Buddha field, quality complete, become a vessel for transmitting the teachings of conquerors such as Medicine Guru, King of Doctrine, and cause them delight. So again, we imagine this Medicine Buddha taking the hand of Antigone and all the people which we have karmic connection with that have passed away, and that he, as he promised, lead them to his pure land. To the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat Full Enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror Shakyamuni, I prostrate offering of refuge. To the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat Full Enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror Shakyamuni, I prostrate offering of refuge. To the Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat Full Enlightened Buddha, glorious conqueror Shakyamuni, I prostrate offering of refuge. Please may the pleasures you made ripen upon myself and all sentient beings right now. May all my pure prayers succeed immediately. Golden in color with earth pressing mudra, who through the force of unique great compassion and enthusiasm become the glorious one of this fearless world system, I prostrate to the supreme leader, head of the Shakya. Born in a Shakya lineage, out of skillful means and compassion, unchallenged by others, conquerors of Mara's force. Body majestic as a golden Mount Meru, I prostrate to the king of the Shakya. I make every collection of offering actually arranged and emanated to the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativity, rejoice in virtue, request and beseech, and dedicate such retreats to the great enlightenment. Pray, bless us and all beings who lack a protector to receive here immediately without exception the benefit as taught by the Supreme Teacher in the extensive sutra ritual of the Medicine Buddha. Supreme Lamb dispelling the darkness of ignorance, foremost of medicine, elevating suffering and disease, to the entire sublime jewel of Dharma, I prostrate offering of love. Homage to the Mother of the Victorious One, perfection of wisdom and holy Dharma of the Three Vehicle, who totally destroyed the dark seed of suffering and cause and uproot the pain of suffering completely. I make every collection of offering actually arranged and emanated through the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativity, rejoice and beseech, and dedicate such virtues as these to the great enlightenment. To the blessings of the truth of the Holy Dharma jewel, may I and all other henceforth in all our life practice the Buddha's teaching in their entirety, exactly as the Buddha intended. The conqueror heart commitment were invoked by the 36,000 sons of Sugata, including Manjushri, Kyabdol, Vajrapani. Those requested they proclaim this sutra's benefit. Pray, manifest all of them for me here and now. And to the worldly protector Yaksha leaders as well, as you promised to do before previous teacher, to stop enemies, harms, and epidemics, pacify all conflict and increase physical and mental bliss, increase wealth, power, poverty, crop, and lifespan. Accomplish this desired goal as we wish, and always protect us without break. So now you can visualize the medicine Buddhas in the space, and below, the whole family of Fabienne, Dolma. And you imagine that the medicine Buddha heals their mind and of the grief, the sorrow, the pain, and as well as all your friends, family members that are sick, and all those which suffer from physical ailment and from mental problem. So imagine a medicine Buddha sitting on top of each one of them. And as you recite the mantra, you imagine that the blessing from the medicine Buddha enters into them and heals their body, mind, for those which are still alive, and then for the other one that he leads them to their pure land. O Namo Bhagavate Beganze Guru Bandurya Brahmarajaya Tatagataya Arate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tayada Om Beganze Beganze Ma Beganze Beganze Raja Samogadeso Tayada Om Beganze Beganze Ma Beganze Beganze Raja Samogadeso Tayada Om Beganze Beganze Ma Beganze Beganze Raza Zamungande So Ayada Om Beganze Beganze Ma Beganze Beganze Raza Zamungande So Ayada Om Beganze Beganze Ma Beganze Beganze Raza Zamungande So Ayada Om Beganze Beganze Ma Beganze Beganze Raza Zamungande So Ayada Om Beganze Beganze Ayana Meganze, Meganze, Ma Meganze, Meganze, Raja Samogate So. Root Guru, whose kindness is without equal, King of the Shakya, Manjushri, Shantarakshita, and so on, holding in the hand this profound sutra to the direct and lineage Guru, I prostrate. I make every collection to the compassionate one who liberate destitute, to the seventh Sukata, Buddha Shakyamuni, Holy Dharma, to Manjushri, Kyabdol, Vajapani, Brahma, and Ishvara, and the Maharaja and Yaksha prostrate. I make every collection of offering actually arranged and emanated to the force of mantra, samadhi, and aspiration. I confess all downfalls and negativity, rejoice in virtue, request and beseech, and dedicate such virtues as these to great enlightenment. Whatever I have done or caused to be done that was unprepared, undegenerated, or done with my deluded mind, please be patient with all of these. Whatever the beings of this degenerate age have done of lesser meaning, mixed with ignorant delusion, that did not fulfill the Arya's wishes, please be patient with these as well. Under the influence of miserliness, lacking in skill, having made bad offering or faulty arrangement, or protector and have great compassion, please be patient with these as well. Whatever was superficial or left undone, degenerating part of the ritual, and whatever was forgotten, please be patient with these as well. Please remain here together with this image for the sake of all migrators. May you grant us long life without illness, power, and supreme attainment. O Supratita Vajaya Soha. The host of medicine Buddha deity, pervading in direction of the round of space with perfection, some raining down multicolor lotus, some singing song requesting goodness, some acting to conquer maras and obstructure, and all bestowing on you supreme good fortune. Know full well and be very joyful. I shall voice sweet melody expressing auspiciousness. Supreme teacher of human and gods, touching my crown with your feet of jewel moonlight. Grant the glory of good fortune of Kumanda's flower, bestowing to Monindras a moon of expanding I prostrate. Manjushri and great abbot Shantarakshita, Tritson Atisha, father and son, second conqueror, Losangjapa, and so on, to the auspiciousness of all collected good qualities of the supreme root and lineage Guru, may all negativity and degeneration be ended, and bliss and goodness increase like a vaccine. May it be auspicious to enjoy the glory of perfection, accomplishing a supreme ocean of prayer, invoking truths during the teaching's decline for protectors being who were untamed by others, sun-like conquerors, through the auspiciousness of all collected good qualities of the seven Sugatas, protector during degenerate time. May all negativity and degeneration be ended, and bliss and goodness increase like a waxing moon. May it be auspicious to enjoy the glory of perfection, arising well from a broad lotus-like tongue of the Lord of the Able One, especially exalted even in this later day of Shakyamuni's teaching, such that if performed, one gain the essence of immorality's ambrosia. To the auspiciousness of all collected good qualities of that King of vast and profound Sutra Pitaka, may all negativity and degeneration be ended, and bliss and goodness increase like a vaccine. May it be auspiciousness to enjoy the glory of perfection. To the auspiciousness of all collected good qualities of those children of the lineage performing the Sutra ritual by simply reciting the names of the King of Doctors of all realms in direction, and to the especially extensive prayer of the teachers, Buddhas, and Sukata, may all negativity and degenerations be ended, and bliss and goodness increase like a waxing moon. May it be auspicious to enjoy the glory of perfection, accomplished to the compassionate mantra of the Sugatas, through faith, samadhi, word of truth, construction of jewels, abode of the three jewels, beyond the three realms, to the auspiciousness of all collected good quality of that supreme Buddha feel equal to Shakyamuni. May all negativity and degeneration be ended, and bliss and goodness increase like a waxing moon. May it be auspicious to enjoy the glory of perfection. due to this to the merit of this virtuous action, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightenment state. May the supreme jewel Bodhicitta that has not a reason arise and go, and may that has not a reason, not diminish, but increase and more. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samattabhadra too realize things as they are, I too dedicate all these virtue in the best way that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these root of virtue with the dedication praise as the best. By the victorious one, those gone of the 3 times, so that we may perform good work. So may the Medicine Buddha take care of Antigone and of all our friends and relatives that have passed away, and lead them to a pure land, and may all those which are sick of body and mind be relieved of their ailment due to the this prayer that we have made. So thank you very much for joining in. So I would like maybe let's be a little bit, we know all Fabienne well, and we might be inspired to write her an email right now, but maybe let's give her some space, not inund her with emails, she might have other things to deal with at the moment. So yeah, so let's keep going out, okay?
Gracias, Venerable.
¿Ah?
Gracias, Venerable.